Hey, welcome to the channel. Today I have another unboxing video for you. So we're going to be looking at the Super Attractor Oracle cards. So I feel like this is a deck that a lot of people who have it love it. From my understanding of it, it appears like it's going to be some sort of affirmation deck, and it's going to help you when it comes to readings on what you're bringing into your life, what you're manifesting. And I believe this deck can also be used as motivation to help you focus on your goals and bringing those manifestations into your life. Basically, as the name suggests, from what I know about this deck, it seems like it is helping you when it comes to attracting things into your life. And so I'm super excited to have this deck part of my collection, and I'm very intrigued to see how it reads. I don't have too many affirmation style oracle decks, so I'm interested to see how this one reads and how it resonates for me. I typically tend to prefer oracle decks that are kind of like their own tarot system, where they have a key word on it and then there is meaning behind that and there's symbolism behind it. That's typically what I'm drawn to, but the few cards that I have read with affirmation styles I do like. I just don't use them all that often. So my first impressions of the packaging is that it's very sturdy. It's going to last a long time if you do store your cards in the box like I do. It feels like your traditional oracle or tarot deck box that the cards come in. It's one where you turn it over and you just pull the lids apart, and then the cards are going to be inside. As for the color scheme, I think it's very pretty. I like how the word Super Attractor in the moon is gilded, and then when you open the box up, inside you have more of a pink color scheme, and it says it's good to feel good. And the back of the box says 52 affirmations to help you start manifesting limitless abundance today. Being a super attractor means that what you believe is what you receive. This stunning deck of cards helps you connect to the universe and live in alignment with spirit so that you can get in flow of well-being and develop your own super attractor powers. Surrender to this awesome practice and watch the miracles unfold. And so overall, it's a very cute vibe. I think if you're someone where you're drawn to this type of deck, you're going to think that the box is very pretty as well. And so when it comes to the packaging, I think that they did a really good job with it, both from a visual standpoint and also a practicality standpoint. So now we have the cards themselves. There's no guidebook for this deck, so I'm going to read what this says, but basically the cards are held together through this white paper, which I'm going to rip. And then that's something that I just tend to throw out. So it says, "Hi, Super Attractor. We are thrilled that you opened this deck. It is here to remind you that through love, you can invite in everything you need. When you are faced with challenges, know that you can choose a card and be offered a new plan beyond your own. Allow each affirmation to support and guide you. These messages will help you make joy your priority, believe in the universe, and have faith in the guidance you receive. Michaela," I apologize if I said that name incorrectly, "and I created this work to inspire you to live a life filled with joy, grace, ease, and strength. The world and art are loving reminders to have fun, be well, and attract what you desire. Open the deck, pick a card, and remember that you are a super attractor. Love, Gabrielle." And then the back of this card says a little bit about Gabrielle and Michaela and what their experience are and what they are kind of known for. So that's a nice little details about them. So now we have the cards themselves, and this is the back of the deck. And I think it's very pretty. It's very simplistic, even though there's a lot going on. So it seems like we have this repeating images of flowers, and then we have the moon in the middle, and they used a black and white color scheme for the flowers, and then they use this pink and red color scheme for the moon. And so I think it's very pretty. It's a lot different than what I would expect based on the color scheme of the box itself, but it might make more sense as I flip through the cards and see the images on them. Personally, it's not my style, but I think that if you were someone where you enjoy this style of artwork, it's going to be something that you really like. So now we have the cards themselves, so I'm going to zoom you in a little closer so you can see these as I flip through them. So far, I think this is my favorite affirmation. I'm such a big believer of this. I love this message. I love the contrast of the image on this card with the lime green with the pink behind it. I'm rereading the first 3 words again, I'm in awe, and I think it's funny how I'm kind of in awe of the color scheme here. I think this is a beautiful message to end on. So overall, my impressions of the cards is I like a lot of the affirmations that are written. I feel like they portray really good messages, and I like the artwork as well. Sometimes I didn't always see the connection between the artwork and the message on the card, but I still enjoyed the artwork and I thought it was really well done. And so that might be a connection that I don't see yet, but eventually I start to understand it as I work with these cards more. So I just got done shuffling the cards. I did the riffle shuffle and I also did the overhand shuffle, and I feel that these cards shuffled beautifully for both. This is not a deck that you have to break in before doing the riffle shuffle. It shuffled very easily on the first go. And when I did the overhand shuffle, I think that the texture of these cards works really well for it, where there's enough slip that the cards don't stick to one another, but because it's a matte font, the cards don't slide around on one another. So this is something that if you were to leave the card sitting on your table and someone were to knock it, it doesn't really move that much. When shuffling, I did get 2 cards for you. That is going to be kind of a collective reading for those of you who are still watching this. So we have, as soon as I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I redirect my power towards what I want. And then the next card says, directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. So my first impressions with reading with this deck is that it's very simple and easy to read. It's easy to understand the messages and to connect them together. I think the affirmations really do a good job of conveying their message in a clear way that makes it easy for the person to understand. I think that this is great if you're doing a 1-card pull, but even if you are pulling more than 1 cards at the same time like I'm doing here, I think that you can find connections through the cards. So for your message, we have direction appearing twice. We have redirect and directing my focus onto what I want. So when it comes to your manifestation abilities, I feel like right now it's really important for you to direct your focus onto what is actually important and what is surviving, what is thriving, as this card says, and ignore what is dead, ignore the darkness, ignore what is not working for you. When it comes to manifesting, constantly we have to adapt. We have to work with what the universe is throwing our way. And sometimes there's a lesson for it. Sometimes that's just life. And there's going to be challenges and difficulties, and there's not going to be a whole lot of sense of it. And so when there are lessons, it's important to understand that, learn from it so that you don't repeat history by focusing on the darkness. But when you have these issues and conflict appear in your life, you're not meant to sit with them and focus on them and sully them and let life pass you by. because you're so caught up in the why, you're so caught up in trying to solve it, you're so caught up in trying to figure it out. Sometimes things happen to us and they're not fair, and we have to just move on, and we need to focus on things that are actually moving forward for our lives. And that's the same way when it comes to manifestations. There's going to be things that hinder your manifestations, that block them. And instead of getting lost in the weeds and trying to sort your way out, look around you, evaluate and be aware of your surroundings, and figure out what path is available to you. Instead of trying to machete your way out and stumble in the dark, allow yourself to look and direct your energy onto what already exists. That's something that you can hold on to, that you can cultivate, and let it multiply as it grows. And so right now, if you've been having challenges when it comes to manifesting, or if you've been working on this goal, putting your energy into it, and you feel like things are going astray, you're not crazy. That is what's going on, but there's going to be a solution. You just need to look for it. You need to be open and receptive for it. And so instead of trying to throw your hands up in defeat, instead of digging your heels in because it's not working out the way that you had planned and the way you wanted it to, allow yourself to adapt, allow yourself to come up with a new solution, and focus on moving forward that way. It might look different than what you anticipated, but that's okay, because moving forward is still moving forward. And even though it wasn't in the way that you wanted it to be, doesn't mean it's not going to lead to a good result. And so overall, when it comes to the Super Attractor Oracle cards, I feel like this is a great deck if you want an affirmation style deck, if you want to get help from an oracle deck when it comes to your manifestation abilities, if you were someone where you're big into manifesting and you want an oracle deck to represent that, to represent your personality, I think this is a great deck for you. If you're someone where you want a lot of symbolism in your cards and you want it to be more of a tarot style deck, this is not going to be the right deck for you. This is truly for those of you where you want to hear these affirmations, or you are having questions about manifesting, whether it be in how do you start manifesting, or whether it's something where you're working on your goals and you just want this deck to check in if you're on the right course, or what you need to believe a little bit more as you go through your journey of manifesting. And so this deck feels a little bit more niche to me, and so it's a great deck, but you have to be aware of its niche before getting it. So I would recommend it if this is a deck that you're looking for. I feel like it does a really good job at what it is and what it's marketed as, and I feel like the creators did a great job of marketing this correctly. And so if this is something you're drawn to, if this is something you want, I would highly recommend it. I think that the cards themselves, the affirmations, are beautiful. I think that they're very important affirmations that a lot of people need to know. I want to point out that a lot of these cards mention the word faith, and from my understanding, when I was reading the affirmations with that word, it wasn't coming across as faith for a specific religion. It was more coming across as faith, meaning trusting of your own beliefs, of the universe, whatever you want to call it. So that's something to keep in mind. If you were someone where you don't like that word, you might not use this deck, but I feel like that word was used in a very respectful way. I don't feel like it was trying to push anything onto anyone. Personally, I think any level of oracle reader could get this deck, but you have to be knowledgeable about what this deck is when you get it. If you're a beginner, you have to understand this is an affirmation deck, and it's going to be applied mainly to manifestation. It can help you if you're looking into like your goals or the future outcome of something, but it's only going to be used as a tool for guidance. It's not necessarily going to be used the way another oracle deck could be to really help you predict anything. And so if you are a beginner, you definitely need to be more conscious of what you are using these cards for, and making sure you're not confusing yourself by using it in a large spread, or confusing yourself by asking it to give you answers that it simply cannot give answers to. And so overall, like I keep saying, this is going to be really great for those of you who know what it is, use it correctly, and have been wanting it. And so if that's the case, I highly recommend it. I did not really see anything wrong with this deck. I don't think it tried to be anything other than what it is. And so as long as you're okay with how niche this deck is, I think it's going to work really well in your practice. And so if you like this video, if you found it useful, please subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family. I post more unboxings like this. I also do readings. I do collective readings, past life readings, and pick a pile readings to help you on your spiritual journeys. And I also do other educational videos and just more fun, entertaining videos. So if you want to stick around for that, turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I post new videos every single week. And if you know someone who's been thinking about getting this deck, or you think that they would like it, please share this video with them. Any way you can support the channel really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. If this deck wasn't for you, that's okay. I'm going to have my unboxing playlist linked in the cards above, and you can see if there's another oracle deck that I reviewed that suits your needs better. I can't wait to see you all in my next video, and I hope you have a good one. Until then, bye.